Hi, and thanks for joining me today to learn all about how monday.com's product for Agile teams can help teams manage the release process and communicate those releases to the rest of the business. My name is Natalie Lyon. I'm an implementation consultant with monday.com and an expert in this product, and I'm looking forward to getting started. Let's take a final look at our workflow map here. We've discussed how product discovery and ideation can facilitate roadmap building and planning, and then down into the execution phase where the products or features are built. Now is when the products or features have been completed, they can flow into a feature releases board that can then be communicated out to the rest of the team or even to clients. After those releases, of course, since this is a cyclical process, feedback collection will occur and we'll begin the process anew. Let's take a look at what this looks like in monday.com. Here we can see an example of the feature releases board in monday.com. It's again grouped by quarter. And within each group, we have key columns to represent who the developer was, when the item was last updated. So, in case the release might be gradual or it might not be released to anyone or to everyone, you're still able to see the last time that it was updated. You're able to see that release status. Here we have examples of it being released to everybody, trial only, alpha, beta, A B testing, gradual release. Of course, these can all be customized according to your own release process. We also have an example of if there was a gradual release, we have the ability to enter the percentage of accounts that it's been released to. Also have the ability to indicate which team worked on this so you know who to reach out to if you have any questions. We have the date that the feature release was created so you know exactly when that release process began. And then finally, we have a files column to be able to link to any documentation about the release directly from this board. So if I were to click into this, I'm able to easily see an overview doc where I can easily outline the problem or the opportunity that we're facing, the target audience, the solution, any visuals, really anything that will aid the audience, either, internal or external stakeholders, to better understand the feature that was released. And that information is right at their fingertips on this board and just easily able to click in. We also have a connect boards column that will connect this feature release to any feature request that it stemmed from. So if we go back to the feature request board and scroll over, we are able to see any feature requests on here and whether or not they live on that feature release board, and if so, what the release status is. So this is a very helpful tool if you want to manage this feature request board and really gauge how many feature requests are actually being released into the public. Again, on this feature releases board, some standard Monday tools are really, really helpful to be able to have a good back and forth about the feature that has been released and really facilitate notifying the rest of the business about new features. So, for example, I can click in here and I'm able to have use the update section to ask if a beta feature can be granted to one of my clients, or maybe ask for the team to expand on what exactly the feature can do and what its current capabilities are. So don't forget that this standard monday.com update section is really, really helpful in this instance. In addition to that, Monday automations can be used to notify groups of stakeholders once an item has been added to this release board, or maybe once a release has been generally released to everybody, all of your clients. You can easily notify a group of stakeholders when that time comes. Also, something that I internally find really helpful is monday.com uses Slack, and we have a Slack integration that will send updates to my monday.com feature release Slack channel. So on a daily basis, I'm able to go in there or at least be notified about new upcoming feature releases. So it's really easy for me to keep tabs on those. Of course, we also have a Teams integration that can accomplish something very similar. But this is really just a great tool to be able to connect the rest of the business into this process. Of course, these processes living in monday.com, the rest of the business is really easily able to be connected. But I think that feature releases are a really essential point to make sure that that connection is solid and that level of communication can be maintained. And there's so many different avenues that you can go through to communicate these releases both internally and externally. So I hope this was helpful in describing how monday.com can be used to manage this process. And I hope this entire series was a very, educational experience in learning about how monday.com's solution for agile teams can facilitate the requirements and discovery process, can facilitate the roadmap building and planning process, the execution process across multiple teams, and then finally through into feature releases. So thanks for sticking with me.